Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Where we starting, Easy?
Well, let's start with Roe versus Wade. The Supreme Court has reversed Roe versus Wade and overturned that. And now there have been protests all over the weekend. There's a fourth day of demonstrations that are planned for today in several locations across the United States. At least 10 states so far have effectively banned abortion since that ruling on Friday. And in all, 26 states have laws indicating they could outlaw or also set extreme limits on abortions, according to a research organization which supports the right to choose. Now, here is what Nancy Pelosi had to say on Roe versus Wade getting overturned.
Because of Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and the Republican Party, their supermajority in the Supreme Court, American women today have less freedom than their mothers. With Roe and their attempt to destroy it, radical Republicans are charging ahead with their crusade to criminalize health freedom. In the Congress, be aware of this, the Republicans are plotting a nationwide abortion ban.
In Arizona, abortion providers started canceling appointments immediately following the ruling on Friday. Now, in some states, governors are taking steps to protect people. So that's people who go across state lines to get an abortion. Mm-hmm. And so they want to make sure people also have access to, they have the pills that you can take as well.
That's what they were saying. A lot of people who probably can't afford to go across state lines, can't afford flights, can't afford to drive, can't afford the gas. Those people they're more concerned about because those are the people they feel might do a basement abortion or do something that will hurt themselves. So I know Disney said that they're going to, pay for some of their employees if need be to go across state lines.
I saw a few companies say they're going to do that.
Yeah, I saw yesterday at the BET Awards, I saw people pledging money to also make sure that they support Planned Parenthood also.
Yeah, I saw Lizzo did. Lizzo said she was...
$500,000, which got matched.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So $1 million altogether, courtesy of Lizzo. And that was a hot topic at the BET Awards last night, people talking about protecting the right for women to choose what they want to do with their bodies and how they want to have families.
I mean, this is no shock to anybody that's been paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Yeah, that's why some states have already been enacting laws to make sure they can protect the rights for women also.
I've been giving donkey of the day to states that have been rolling back abortion rights for the last 3-4 years. This is not a shock to anybody that's been paying attention.
Here's what Joe Biden had to say.
Roe v. Wade was a 7-2 decision, written by a justice appointed by a Republican president, Richard Nixon. In the 5 decades that followed Roe v. Wade, justices appointed by Republican presidents from Eisenhower, Nixon, and Reagan, George W. Bush, were among the justices who voted to uphold the principles set forth in Roe v. Wade. It was 3 justices named by one president, Donald Trump, were the core of today's decision to upend the scales of justice and eliminate a fundamental right for women in this country. Make no mistake, this decision is a culmination of a deliberate effort over decades to upset the balance of our law.
I mean, there's a 6-3 conservative majority in the Supreme Court. So if you think that it's going to stop at abortion, you're out of your mind. Okay? Remember when OG Jim Clyburn was on the Breakfast Club maybe it was not long ago, 2.5 years ago, and he said that if things keep trending this way, you could have a Supreme Court that if they wanted to, they could bring slavery back. That's why when, good salute to that good sister Ketanji Brown Jackson. I told y'all, that was a historic moment. But it's still math, people. It's a 6-3 conservative majority on the Supreme Court.
Now, Joe Biden does not agree with expanding the court, even though a lot of Democrats have been calling for him to do that, as well as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been saying that you have to take this action because this is only just the beginning. And here is what AOC had to say.
I myself, when I was about 22 or 23 years old, was raped while I was living here in New York City. I was completely alone. That I had to take a pregnancy test in a public bathroom in Midtown Manhattan. And when I sat there, all I could think was I could at least have the freedom to choose my destiny. I didn't know then that it would come up negative, but it doesn't matter. This is not a women's rights issue. This is an issue for all of us.
Listen, man, I told y'all 4 things that needed to be done to protect democracy. Expand the Supreme Court, protect voting rights, get rid of the filibuster so you can properly govern, and prosecute everyone behind the attempted coup. on January 6th. None of that has happened.
Now, some people are celebrating this ruling, and here is Donald Trump at a rally.
Right from the United States Supreme Court, yesterday the court handed down a victory for the Constitution, a victory for the rule of law, and above all, a victory for life. This breakthrough is the answer to the prayers of millions and millions of people, and these prayers have gone on for decades. For decades and decades they've been praying, and now those prayers have been answered.
Republicans have been playing the long game. They've been plotting on this for decades, just like Trump just said. They got it done. My question is, when are Democrats going to do something? Elections have consequences, right? But what's worse, Republicans being in office and abusing their power, or Democrats being in power and not using their power to protect people from this abuse?
All right.
So now what some people are trying to do to protect access is certain things like making sure that that you can actually get the drugs that are used to induce abortion that have been approved by the FDA for use in the first 10 weeks of pregnancy, making sure that that is more accessible. But some states like Louisiana have adopted legislation to make it illegal for doctors to actually mail those medications. And so some states are also trying to make sure that they protect women who are traveling outside of their state to receive any type of care in other states. They are protecting non-California residents seeking reproductive health care in that state, and also providing similar protections in places like Minnesota. So abortion has been banned without exception except for the health of the mother, and in some states without exceptions for rape, and in some states without exceptions for incest. So imagine if you get raped, or if your health is at risk, or if it's incest, abortion is still banned in some of those states. And for a lot of women, the cost of having to travel and leave their state and get a hotel overnight and figure out how to have access is going to be really difficult.
Absolutely.
Some people can just say, okay, let me get on a flight, go here, get a hotel room for a couple of nights, while other women are going to have to struggle and figure out what they can do in order to make their own decisions about their bodies. Now, AOC also tweeted out the president and Dem leaders can no longer get away with familiar tactics of committees and studies to avoid tackling our crises head on anymore. And then she listed restrained judicial review, open clinics on federal lands, court expansion, expand federal access, awareness of pill abortions, etc., as some possible solutions.
Man, drop on the clues bombs for AOC, because AOC is really showing that she's a real leader, and she really made me feel sane this weekend, because immediately when Roe v. Wade got overturned, that's all you heard was the empty rhetoric, the cliche, go vote, go vote, go vote, and it's insulting. Because we've done that historically over the years. And
Record numbers, they say, right?
That's right. And we go vote, and we put these Democrats in power, and they do nothing to defend our rights. They saw all of this coming. So to see AOC say that, here's an actual plan for what Democrats can do beyond give me $5 and go vote, that gave me a lot of hope. So salute to AOC.
Conservative Justice Clarence Thomas also wrote on Friday that he feels like the Supreme Court must revisit and overrule past landmark decisions that legalize the right to obtain contraception, the right to same-sex intimacy, and the right to same-sex marriage.
Yes, and believe it or not, Clarence Thomas wants to make sodomy illegal. That was another thing that he said. What the hell has Clarence Thomas got against anal sex?
Well,
you better read that fine print, all you people that like anal sex.
That is your front page news.
It's getting real out here. You think I'm making this up, but I'm not.
Yeah, definitely sounds like...
Just read the fine print. Look at the other things that Clarence Thomas wants to get rid of. Just like you just said, contraceptives, same-sex marriage, and it's...
and anal.
It was a ruling in Texas about sodomy.
Goodness gracious.
He wants to be, for whatever reason, he wants to make sodomy a crime.
All right. Well, that is your front page news. Where you want to go from here? Why are you looking at me, man? You've been gone for a week, and you just... Where you want to go from here?
I don't understand why you would ask me that after what I was just talking about, but whatever. Why don't you just open up the phone lines? See how the people feel.
All right. 800-585-1051. A lot going on over the weekend. Of course, they overturned Roe versus Wade. What is your thoughts?
I do like what Jasmine Sullivan said at the BET Awards, though, because, this is not just a woman issue. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, she used a phrasing of words. She said, men, if you've ever benefited from an abortion, you should be standing with women. And whether y'all realize it or not, yes, some of you guys have benefited from abortion.
Okay. Well, let's open up the phone lines. Let's discuss. Let's talk about it. 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.